Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Paramananda Madhavam. Let's chant verses 20 to 23. Kamaiste ritagnyanaha prapadyante devataha tam tam niyamamasthaya prakritya niyatasvaya. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhaya chitumicchati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyaham. Sataya shraddhaya yuktaha tasya radhanamihate labhate cha tatah kaman mayyeva vihitan hitan antavattu palam tesham tadbhavatyalpamedhasam devan devayajo yanti Madbhakta yanti mamapi. Okay, so here now what's happening is that the highest vision to have in life is Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. Means everything is Vasudeva. Everything is existence, consciousness. This is the highest vision of life. And this is the purpose of life. Now, why is it that some people, some of us don't come to this realization? In verse number 20, it says that we have been looted away by our own desires. So that wisdom that we have, even if we have this knowledge to pursue the truth and to know that seeing God or truth in everything, including ourselves, is the highest truth, it's as though our knowledge is looted. It's kidnapped. By what? By our desires. And because of that, prapadyante anya devataha. We are seeking other devatas other than that supreme Brahman. We are seeking other limited devatas, trying to get our work, our whims and fancies from them. Anya Devata, we saw, means could be that I'm worshiping a limited form of God, a limited form of Krishna or Shiva or Devi, or worshiping Indra, Kubera, all these different Varuna Devata, or worshiping people like politicians, movie stars, worshiping them, or worshiping even our sense organs. And whatever niyamas there are, we perform them also because we want to get something from them. But what happens with them when we worship other devatas? So it says that whatever we get when we worship the devatas it only increases our faith. So let us say we have some kind of niyama or ritual of following the Navagraha Puja. We're worshiping the planets. And when we get the result, then again, the more and more we want to worship. So our Shraddha grows. So in whatever way we have faith, in whomsoever we have faith, when we get that result, then our faith in that grows. And Bhagavan says, okay, that's fine, but did you realize something? That even if you're having faith and worshiping the limited devatas and getting what results you have, do you know that they also get their powers from me? In verse 22, it says, Mayeva vitan hitan. They get their powers from me. They're all finite. They can only do certain things, but they all come from me. I am the absolute source of everything and everyone. And in 23, whatever fruits we get from them, whatever results, they are limited. They are limited in time, in space, in object. So those results will come and then again they will go. And then what will you do? Again, you'll keep going in the cycle again and again and again. So Bhagavan says, Devan, Devayajo Yanti, verse 23, those who worship the Devatas, they go to the Devatas. Mad Bhakta Yanti Mam Api. But my Bhaktas, they come to me. And this is where we left off last time, where Bhagavan was angry with us. So if you remember that, I had shared with you, Bhagavan is quite angry with us. And he said, I had read to you that part of Adi Shankaracharyaji's commentary, why he's angry. Evam samane api ayase. Because it takes the same effort. Mam eva na prapadyante. It takes the same effort to worship the limited. It takes the same effort to worship the unlimited. And yet, we worship the limited. So he says, Ananta palaya, they don't seek me for infinite results. Aho kalu kashtam vartante. This is so troubling. Iti anukrodham darshayati Bhagwan. And Bhagwan is upset. Now, and then I told you the story about the chocolate and the key to the chocolates, right? So I told you that story, the same effort. Now I wanted to share a verse from Vairagya Shatakam. And this verse will also show us how the same effort we apply, but we get different results. So I will just share my screen so you can also see the verse. This is from Sri Bharat Hari's Vairagya Shatakam, and this is verse number 6. So if you ever want to look it up, you can look it up. I'll chant it and then I'll explain. Kshantam nakshamaya grihochita sukham tyaktam nasantoshatah Sodhadussahashitavata kleshana taptam tapaha dhyatam vittamahernisham niyamita pranirna shambhov padam tat karma kritam vyadeva munibihi tais valairvanchitaha. So what is it saying? Kshantam nakshamaya. So we forgive, but not out of forgiveness. You know, the wise and the austere, they forgive so naturally. To them, it's a virtue, and it's their nature actually, so naturally. But when we forgive, it's not out of forgiveness sake. It's also because we have done so much wrong. So we better forgive so that other people can forgive us. So we're both practicing forgiveness, but for different reasons. Now, tyaktam. Now, even we, griha uchita sukham, we leave the comforts of our home. We also leave it. We leave the comforts of our home. Let us say a person from the village is going to a big city. So they leave their big bungalow and they move into this matchbox sized apartment. Huh? But why are they doing that? Because they want to pursue career, they want to pursue wealth, they want to pursue money. And so with all of this, they leave the comforts of their home and they come and settle into a small place to start over again, to make their life. So there is also some renunciation aspect. Huh? But the austere, they renounce out of joy, out of contentment. They renounce everything. They leave the comforts of their own home because they don't want anything anymore. They just want that. So both are renouncing, huh? But we're not renouncing out of contentment. Sodha dussah shita vata tapana. Both of us are bearing heat and cold. Huh? So both of us are bearing heat and cold. Sometimes when we want to look nice, when we want to look nice in the winter, we will wear some sleeveless clothes, or we will wear something that's very, very, not warm, because we want to look nice, right? So we are also bearing the cold. But this sadhu is bearing the cold and the heat because of their tapas shakti. Hmm? So we are bearing the heat and the cold because maybe we want to sunbathe in the beach. There also we have to bear some heat, because we want to look good. But the sadhu is bearing all of this for tapasya. And then dhyatam. Both are doing dhyanam. So sometimes people are doing dhyana on what? Vittam, on wealth. The whole day, people are thinking about wealth. How much money is coming in? How much money is going out? How much have I invested? Where is my money? What's happening with the stock market? Dhyatam, vittam, the whole day just thinking about money, 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 numbers, numbers, numbers. Huh? And they do it with such, they let everything go. There's so much vairagya from everything else, solely focused on making money. But we are not meditating on Shambho, Padam, on the Pada of Shiva, on Bhagwan. So some people are meditating on money, but these munis, they're meditating on Shiva. So now see the same acts we're doing. So people are forgiving not out of forgiveness sake, but they're forgiving because they also need to be forgiven. People are leaving their homes not out of contentment, but they are leaving their homes to pursue something more in the world. People are bearing heat and cold, not because of their tapas shakti, because they want to enjoy, but not for tapasya. People are also practicing dhyanam, but for vittam, for wealth, not for Shiva. So whatever karma people are doing, these munis are also doing, but they are getting different results, and we are not getting their results. Huh? So what this means is same effort, same things we're doing, but because their intention and their dedication is towards the infinite, they get the infinite. But because our intention could be for the finite, we will only get the finite. And many people in this world can move us from finite to finite. Many people. We need money, get more money. We need a bigger house, get a bigger house. We are weak in our health, get better in your health. Many people can move us from finite to finite. Even if we get better health, more money, bigger house, we will still want something more. And many people can do that for us. But the one who moves us from finite to infinite, that is called Guru. That is very rare. So it's the same effort. So why not direct it towards the infinite? We're doing it anyway. We're doing it anyway, right? So direct it towards the infinite. Now, further, Bhagavan says, again, the question is asked, why people fail to reach the self? Bhagavan also, he gave so many reasons, right? He said, why are people not worshipping you? How are they deluded? So here in verse number 24, he answers. And this is where we will start. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam
अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नं
manyante mamabuddhayah
मन्यन्ते मामबुद्धयः
param bhavamajanantah
परं भावमजानन्तः
mamavyayamanuttama
ममाव्ययमनुत्तमम्
avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mamabuddhayah param bhavamajanantah mamavyayamanuttama. So Bhagavan says, what happens is abuddhayaha. Abuddhayaha means those who are unwise, those who don't know the real truth. Ajanantaha. Ajanantaha, not knowing. What happens? Avyaktam vyaktim apannam. They come to think of me, who is avyakta, who is unmanifest, as vyakti, as manifest. And they manyante, they think of me like that. Mam, they think of me like that. Param bhavam, my supreme nature, ajanantaha, they don't know it. And how is my supreme nature? Mama avyayam means my nature, which is immutable. Avyayam. Anuttamam, which is most exalted, most excellent. So he says, the foolish think of me, the unmanifest, as having come to manifestation, not knowing my higher, immutable, fearless nature. Huh? So this we already saw in some sense that Bhagavan's real nature is that Sat-Chit-Ananda, pure existence, consciousness, bliss. This is Bhagavan's real nature. But what we tend to do is we limit Bhagavan to a form, that only this form is Bhagavan. Only in this place I can find Bhagavan. Only in this way I can connect to Bhagavan. And so we limit God in a form. We limit God in a name. We will limit God in a place. Only in Kailash I can connect to Bhagavan. We limit God to a time that Bhagavan was there, but now Bhagavan is not here anymore. And in this way, when we limit God, we are limiting that truth. And this can also be a cause for one to become so fanatical and thinking that God is only in this way, in this form, in this time, in this religion. But he says, I am that pure awareness. I am not any of these. Here, there was a nice discussion I read that, see, there are two things in this world. There's what we call Aham. Aham, which means I, and Idam, which means this or this world. If we take God to be this, if we take God to be something that is this, something that's an object, something that's manifest. Manifest means an object which our senses can perceive and our minds can perceive. Unmanifest means that which our senses cannot perceive and our mind cannot perceive. So if we take God to be idam, this object, manifest, something seen, something we hear, something we can think of, then what happens? This object, this being will go, right? It will not stay there all the time. It goes. Anything that's an object of our experience, it goes. So the minute we say that God is something that we can perceive, we can see, we can hear, we can experience, then God becomes an object And that object becomes temporary, and that temporary then becomes absent. So God cannot be, God's real nature cannot be Idam. It has to be Aham. Because Aham, I, there's never any absence of I. There's never any non-experience of I. There's never any absence of I. There's never any limitation on I. There's no spatial limitation, time limitation, object limitation. I, that pure awareness, is beyond any time, any space, any object. And that's why this I is Anuttamam, is the most excellent. That is the most excellent. That's why that has to be God. That has to be God. That which is beyond time, space, and object, that has to be God. Hmm? That's not to say that God cannot manifest in forms. Of course, God can manifest in forms. God can take avatars as Krishna, Rama. God can come for his bhakta in a form, can come. But the real nature of God is that which is Avyakta, which is unmanifest, which is Anuttama, which is beyond time, space, object, which is Avyayah, imperishable. Imperishable, something that is non-decaying, something that cannot be absent. And so that Bhagavan only has to be I. There's no other way about it. The minute we take God as something other than I, we've limited God. If we say this is God and this is Jiva, finished. God is not in Jiva, God is limited. If we say this is God and this is the world, again, God is limited. So God has to be Jiva, God has to be Jagat, and God has to be Ishvara. God has to be Jiva, the individual, Jagat, the world, and God himself, Ishvara. Has to be all. And in infinitude, there cannot be manyness. There can only be one. Therefore, he says, those who don't know this, abuddhayaha, those who don't know this, then they fail to reach the self. And why are they abuddhayaha? Why don't they know? Because they don't inquire deeply. When we are young, it is very important to worship God with a form. It is very important because our mind cannot connect to the formless easily. But as we grow older, that's the time when we have to do more vichara. We have to question, who is this God I'm worshiping? And those who fail to question, that is abuddhayaha. Those who fail to question, those who fail to seek, those who fail to dig deeper, that is abuddhayaha. So abuddhayaha doesn't know that my real nature is unmanifest. My real nature is most exalted. My real nature is imperishable. They don't know this. And that is why they fail to reach the self. Now, a question will come that, what about people who want to worship? Let us say, don't jnanis, also the wise, don't they worship God with a form? Don't they do that? Huh? So here, there's a very, very beautiful verse. I'll read it out, then I'll explain. Dvaitam mohaya bodhat prak. Prapte bodhe manishaya. Pujartham kalpitam dvaitam. Advaitat api sundaram. Very, very beautiful. It says, bodhat prak. Before knowledge, dvaitam mohaya. Duality is a delusion. Before knowledge. Prapte bodhe. When someone gains knowledge, manishaya, with the intellect, pujartham kalpitam dvaitam. That dvaita, which is imagined for the sake of puja, Advaitat api sundaram. That is even more beautiful than Advaita. Hmm? So, after one realizes that Sat-Chit-Ananda alone is appearing as this whole entire world, if they want to do puja, it's completely fine. If they want to go to a temple and pray, it's completely fine. If they want to close their eyes and meditate on a form, it is fine, because their knowledge is that that who I'm doing puja on is none other than myself, is none other than that reality. So when we do, for example, Guru Paduka Puja, when we worship Gurudev's Padukas, it's very clear that what we're worshiping is Ajaya Namaha, Avyayah Namaha, that which is unborn, that which is imperishable, that which is Advitiyaya Namaha, that which is non-dual. It's so incredibly clear. Hmm? So it doesn't mean that just because one has come to the path of non-duality and realizes that same awareness in all beings, that they cannot do puja, or that they cannot worship, or that they cannot contemplate. Huh? There's one more verse that I want to read to you. It's from this text called Vakya Vritti. And I know some of you are in that class, but I thought this is a very nice way to bring in this truth. Adi Shankaracharya ji has written a text called Vakya Vritti. And yesterday was Shankara Jayanti, so I was remembering him and what he had written. And now he wrote this verse thinking that I know that there is only one pure consciousness. I know that. But still, I feel like doing namaskar. So I know that there's one pure consciousness, but I want to bow down. How will I bow down? So then he writes this verse. सर्गस्थितिप्रलयहेतुमचिन्त्य शक्तिं विश्वेश्वरं विदितविश्वमनन्तमूर्तिं निर्मुक्तबन्धनमपारसुखाम्बुराशिं श्रीवल्लभं विमलबोधघनं नमामि. So he is in a pickle, because he says, I know that this consciousness is Vimala Bodha Ghanam. It is so pure. It is one homogeneous mass of consciousness. Yet I want to bow down. So what should I do? So he says, Achintya Shakti. I know that consciousness with Achintya Shakti, with the power of Maya, has become Vishveshwara, the Lord of the universe. And what does the Lord of the universe do? Sargasthiti pralaya hetu, the one who creates, sustains, and dissolves the world. That's what he does. When he does that, does he get bound? No. Nirmukta bandhanam. Doesn't get bound at all. He's untouched. Untouched. And what about bliss? Apara sukham burashim. He is the abode of bliss. Abode of bliss. Now, Adi Shankaracharya ji says, I want to bow down to that consciousness, which is the Lord of the universe, but I want to bow down in my own personal way. How do I do it? Sri Vallabham. That Lord takes the form of Lord Vishnu. Sri Vallabha, Vallabha, the husband of Sri. And when that Lord takes the form of Bhagavan Vishnu, Namami, then I can bow down. Then I can bow down. Hmm? So very, very beautifully, Adi Shankaracharya ji brings this to us. He says, I know the truth is non-dual, but I feel like bowing down, knowing the truth is non-dual. And this is the way I would do it. Hmm? So those who know the real nature of Bhagavan, no problem. But those who don't, then they become very limited in their worship, in their thinking, and in their relationship with God. Hmm? Now, Bhagavan, again that question comes. Why is it that nobody knows you? Why is it so hard to know you? This sentiment keeps coming in chapter 7. Bhagavan says, I already told you, but I'm going to tell you again. Verse number 25. Naham prakasha sarvasya
नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य
yogamaya samavritah
योगमाया समावृतः
मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति
मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति
लोको मामजमव्ययम्
लोको मामजमव्ययम्
नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य योगमाया समावृतः मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति लोको मामजमव्ययम्. So here he says, Na aham prakasha. I am not known. Prakasha here literally means known. I am not known. Sarvasya, to all. I am not known to all. Why? Yoga maya samavritaha. I am veiled. Avritaha, samavritaha, very much veiled by yoga maya. Then Moodha, Lokaha, this deluded world, Lokaha, this world which is Moodha, deluded, Na Mam Abhijanati, they do not know me. So Ayam Lokaha Moodha, this deluded world, Mam Abhijanati, they do not know me. Ajam Avyayam, my imperishable nature, which is Ajam, unborn, and Avyayam, imperishable. I am not manifest to all, veiled by my divine Maya. This deluded world knows not me, the unborn, the imperishable. So what does this mean? He says here that I am there. I am this unmanifest. Again, he uses the word Avyayam here. This word Avyayam comes many, many times in the Bhagavad Gita. So I am Avyayam. I am imperishable. And Ajam, I am unborn. So because I am unborn, I am imperishable. Because once somebody is born or something is born, then all the other vikaras, all other changes come. Something grows, something matures, decays, and dies. So he says, I am unborn. I did not come out from anybody's stomach. Nobody made me, nobody fashioned me in any way. I am unborn. I am that pure awareness which is ever there, unborn, and I am also imperishable. Now, I am not known to all because Yoga Maya. So Yoga Maya, Maya we have seen very beautifully. Bhagavan Krishna has explained it in Devi Yesha Gunamahi Mama Maya Duratyaya. He explained that this Maya is the power of Ishvara. This Maya is of three gunas. And this Maya has this Avarna Shakti, the power to veil. It has Vikshepa Shakti, the power to project. And it has Viveka Shakti, the power to discern. He's explained all of this. Yoga Maya here means, yoga means union. So the union of Maya, which is three gunas. So one meaning is this, the union of Maya, which is three gunas. So just like you have these three gunas, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic gunas, right? Sattvic, that which is peaceful, of the nature of peace. Rajasic, activity. And tamasic, dullness. Like that. When these three gunas are mixed, we get deluded, and we fail to see that which lies beyond the gunas. So, for example, in art, we know that there are three primary colors: there's red, there's yellow, and there's blue. So, if you have a white canvas, you can paint something red on it, something yellow, something blue. At the same time, with the union of these three colors, we can make so many things. Hmm? With blue and yellow, let us say you can make a different color. With red and yellow, you can make a different color. With red and blue, you could make like a purple. So you can make different colors. So when you have this white canvas and you have these three colors, and then you make other colors on top of it, we lose the sense of the white canvas. It's covered. Huh? So when we go to a museum, that in New York there was this Van Gogh exhibit, or you go to any metropolitan museum, any museum, we look at the paintings, but we always forget the canvas, isn't it? We look at the beauty of the painting and we try to analyze who painted it, what does the art depict, and how beautiful is it? Oil, is it pastel, is it this, is it that? But we don't really recognize the canvas because the forms, the colors are so vibrant. So, one meaning of Yoga Maya is the union of these three gunas. Because they're all over the world, we fail to see beyond them. Another meaning of yoga here means the capacity of Maya. Capacity. Yoga also means the samarthya, the capacity. Capacity of Maya to do what? Aghatita ghatana patiyasi Maya. Maya has a capacity to make the impossible possible. Hmm? So much so that we, in our waking state, are a completely different person, but in our dream state, we're totally someone else. Huh? Aghatita ghatana. We who are that supreme Brahman, pure awareness, we think we are Jiva. We are identified with this. So Maya is that which makes the impossible possible. And that is called Yoga Maya, that capacity of Maya to do that. From that one Advaita Vastu, all of a sudden there's a variety of names and forms. We cannot explain it. That's called Maya. So, because of this power of Maya, we are not able to understand. One more example is given with regards to the sun, right? We had seen this before, wherein the clouds as though cover the sun, right? But that is just so odd. Sometimes we say the clouds are covering the sun. Actually, it's in the sun's presence that the clouds are there. It is because of the sun, clouds are there. Right? The clouds are formed from the sun. So clouds cannot actually cover the sun. It is because of the sun, the clouds are there. Hmm? Or sometimes when we want to look at the sun. So when we want to look at the sun, sometimes we say the clouds are covering the sun. Sometimes when we want to look at the sun, it's too bright that we can't even look. We have to close our eyes. Huh? So sometimes it's covered for us in this way. There are very few who can see beyond this illusion of names and forms. Very few, he had said earlier, Manushyanam sahasreshu, among thousands of people, kaschit yatati siddhaye. There are a few rare ones who can penetrate through this illusion. Few who can see the mirage water, beneath the mirage water. Few who can see the truth behind the magic show, the magic trick. Those are the people that are not veiled by this Maya. Here, Gurudev's commentary, I just want to read this very nice thing. It's on my page 66. It's the last paragraph of this verse. I'll read it out loud. It says, such frenzied hearts, blotted with desires and lacerated with disappointments, crushed by dissatisfactions and smothered by the fear of their own annihilation, can never have the integrated equipoise to live at least a moment of still awareness to experience the pure consciousness. The deluded world knows me not, as it is steeped in the illusion born out of the three gunas, screened off by this universe of names and forms, which is but an apparent projection of the self. The ordinary sense organs, mind or intellect fail to perceive it. The ghost veils the post. The mirage waters clothe the desert. The waves screen off the ocean. So very few are the ones who can penetrate this illusion. The rest are covered by it. Then the question comes to Bhagavan. Bhagavan, if it is very easy to be covered by your Maya, are you also covered by your Maya? And he says, definitely not. Definitely not. And this is verse number 26. Vedaham samatitani
Vedaham samatitani
vartamanani charjuna
vartamanani charjuna
bhavishyani cha bhutani
bhavishyani cha bhutani
mam tu vedana kaschana
mam tu vedana kaschana
vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. So Bhagwan says, Veda aham. Veda here doesn't mean Vedas. It means know. Aham, I, Veda, I know. What? Samatitani, I know the entire past. Vartamanani, the entire present. Cha Arjuna, oh Arjuna, I know the present and I know the past and I know the present. Arjuna, Pavishyani, and the future also. Bhutani, of all beings. Then the beings of the past, present, future, I know. Mam tu Veda na kaschana. But me, na Veda, they don't know. Kaschana, nobody knows me. So I know all, O Arjuna, the beings of the past, the present, and the future, but no one knows me. So what is Bhagavan saying here? He's referring to two things. One is his nature of existence, consciousness, bliss. That definitely is all knowing because it's all knowledge. Just like the sun illumines everything, that pure awareness, pure consciousness illumines everything, illumines the past, the present, future. That pure awareness is always there. In your past, your present, your future, that pure awareness will always be there. Your body, mind, intellect, personality might change, but this pure consciousness is there. It's there. And it's even beyond time. It's even beyond time. It's there. So in one way, he's saying, I am that pure awareness and consciousness. So naturally, I illumine. First meaning is I illumine. I illumine everything. Hmm? Second meaning is that pure consciousness with the power of Maya as Ishvara is a total mind. So, in that total mind, everything is known. The past is known, the present is known, and the future is known. Everything is known. Hmm? So, that's why some people can predict the future, or some people can know the past. Why? Because they tune into the total mind. And to the extent that we tune into the total mind, to that extent we can foresee certain things. That is what some yogis do. Now, that is not to say that we can't change things. So, the total mind is aware of the past, present, future of this moment. Huh? But let us say you change something in your life, then that also will change in whole totality. Huh? So it's not to say that everything is predestined. Not in that way. It is that everything is known. As we act, as we think, as we do, everything is known. And that known, it also changes based on the individuals. So it's not something that's consistent, not something that's constant, that it's just there. No, it's also quite volatile. It's quite dynamic because it is based on the individuality also. Hmm? So, as Ishvara, Bhagavan says, the past, present, the future, I also know it. Hmm? So, as pure consciousness, I illuminate. As Ishvara, it is all in me. I know it. But he says, nobody knows me. Nobody knows me. Now, here, there's a confusion. Bhagavan, you are making us so confused because before you said, few people come to know me. And now you are saying, nobody knows me. So, what is the truth? Huh? Is there a contradiction in what Bhagavan Krishna is saying? Because clearly in that verse, and I'll tell you the verse number, I think it's number 3. Yeah. Number 3, Bhagavan says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kashchit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kashchin mam veti tattvataha. Says, amongst thousands of people, one strives for perfection. And amongst those strivers, only one knows me in essence. This is what he said in this very chapter in verse 3. Then here he says, nobody knows me. So now Arjuna is so confused. What does this mean? What this means is actually very beautiful. You see, the knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. Huh? So when he says no one knows me, means no one knows me as an object. And this comes in Kenopanishad, where he says, Yadi manyase suvedeti, tabhramevapi nunam tvam. Means if one says that they know of the self as an object, then there's something wrong with that because you can never know yourself as the object. Uh, if you know the self as an object, then you're separate from the self. But when you know the self as the subject, means it is you. You don't need to know it. It is you. You are that. Hmm? So he says that nobody knows me because in reality, even to know, you need a knower and known. But I am you. I am you. Hmm? So, therefore, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, I am not limited or veiled by this power of Maya. Hmm? Now, Bhagavan Krishna says, you know, even if this is the case, right? What is there that's I so we understood that the power of Maya is veiling us, but Arjuna is kind of asking, can you give me more details? Understand that people get lost in these names and forms. But how do they get lost in these names and forms? Can you give me a more descriptive analysis? So Sri Krishna says, okay, I'm going to give you a more descriptive analysis because we might think that we have gotten it. We've gotten it. We've understood the truth. And then again, feels like we lost it. Where are we going wrong? Could you give us more specifics? So Sri Krishna says, here you go, Arjuna, just for you. Icha dvesha samuthena
इच्छाद्वेषसमुत्थेन
dvandva mohena bharata
द्वन्द्व द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत
sarvabhutani sammoham
सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहम्
sarge yanti parantapa.
सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप
Ichha dvesha samuthena dvandvamohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. Excuse me. So Sri Krishna says, Ichha dvesha samuthena means it arises, samuthena, by arising from icha. Icha means desire, likes. Dvesha, aversion, dislikes. Dvandva mohena, by the delusion of pairs of opposites. By the delusion of pairs of opposites which arise from desire and aversion. O Bharata, O Arjuna, Sarva Bhutani Sammoham. All beings, Sarva Bhutani Sammoham Yanti, means they are subject to delusion. Since when? Sarge, since birth. O Parantapa. He says, O Arjuna, by the delusion of the pairs of opposites arising from desire and aversion, all beings are subject to delusion at birth. Wow. So, how does this happen? You see, the very fact that we are born again means that we were deluded. We are deluded at birth. Sarge api. Because how does birth come? How did a jiva become born? It is due to this cycle of avidya. What happens first? Step 1. We are ignorant of our true nature. We don't know who we are. Step 2. We think the world is real and separate from us. So step 1, I don't know. I am this non-dual self, pure consciousness, bliss. I don't know it. Step 2, then I think the world is separate from me. It is real. It is a real thing. Step 3, because it is a real thing, I start to superimpose joy and sorrow. Adhyasa. I say, this might be nice. This might be not nice. Because I'm incomplete. So I start to say, this might make me feel complete. I'm incomplete. The world is apart from me. This might make me feel complete. This might not make me feel complete. Step 4, raga dvesha. To that which makes me feel complete, I like that. I like that. To that which makes me feel incomplete, I don't like that. I don't like that. It was raga dvesha. Step 5. To those things that I like, Pravritti. I will put so much effort to get them. And to those things that I don't like, nivritti. I will put so much effort to stay away from them. Step 6. When I get what I want, sukha. This is the dvandva moha. Sukha. I feel so happy. And when I don't get what I want, dukkha. I feel so sad. And then what happens? Step 7. I am stuck in this samsara again. Again, I still have not realized the self. I'm thinking the world to be real and apart from me. I'm thinking something might complete me. I'm wanting to like it. I like it. It'll complete me. I pursue it. I get it. I become happy. And even if I become happy for how long? For a short time. Then again, I'm craving something. And then through this whole cycle, I do it again and again and again and again and again. And I keep doing it and I keep reaping results of actions. I keep reaping karma phala. And what is one of the results of actions? What is one of the karma phala? It's a body. I get a body. This is one of my fruits of actions. I get a body. Mm? This is how we are born. So because we have a body itself, we are deluded. Sarge api, from birth itself, we are deluded. And we are deluded through this dvandva moha, through this joy and sorrow. Where is this joy and sorrow arising from? Likes and dislikes. Where is this likes and dislikes coming from? Ignorance, as I have outlined for you. And because of that, oh, we are stuck. We are stuck. This is the way we are deluded. So if we have to come out of this, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the root. We have to remove that ignorance. Only then will we realize that we are truly free. Okay? So more of this we will do next time. We take up next time. So just to summarize in a few lines, Bhagavan Krishna said, people fail to understand me. They think I am limited to a form, limited to something manifest, but I am actually unmanifest. I am imperishable. I am beyond space, time, and object. And he said, I am not easily recognizable because of the veil of Maya. And so even the people in the world don't realize me. There are a few who do, but many don't. Is Sri Krishna deluded by his own Maya? No. He says, I am beyond it. I am beyond time. I illumine time. And I am that all-knowing Ishvara who is aware of the past, present, and future. And so I know everything, but nobody knows me. Why do we say nobody knows me? Because the knower of Brahman becomes Brahman itself. We cannot ever know Brahman as an object. We can only know Brahman as a subject. Can we say, can you tell us a little bit more about this delusion? Give us more specifics? Yes, it's a whole cycle which starts from ignorance. And eventually what happens is through ignorance, through action, through the results of action, we get a body. And that's why we are here. Okay, we'll stop here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.